He disappeared from headlines, but Kanye never stopped building. From mysterious architecture to spiritual retreats, this is Ye's secret empire in 2025. Kanye West has always treated architecture as more than aesthetics. He sees it as an extension of his soul. In 2025, this vision has grown bolder and stranger than ever. Far from Hollywood and the paparazzi, Kanye's latest projects are part spiritual compound, part brutalist fortress. Forget marble columns or gold chandeliers. Think exposed concrete, raw symmetry, and silence that echoes louder than applause. Nestled in remote corners of California and Wyoming, Kanye's estates don't shout wealth, they whisper purpose. Each property is stripped down to the bare essentials, reflecting Ye's philosophy of minimalism and divine order. The main residence? A gray geometric structure known only as the Ark, rumored to have no windows and a single door. Visitors say it feels more like a monastery than a mansion. This architectural pivot isn't new for Kanye. He's long been fascinated with spatial energy and monastic simplicity. His Sunday service performances often took place in similarly minimalist locations, fields, domes, or concrete bunkers. Now, he's living what he once staged, removing distractions from his physical space in search of higher clarity. The Ark isn't just a home. It's a studio, a prayer space, and a sanctuary. Insiders report that Kanye walks barefoot on stone floors, meditates before sunrise, and refuses traditional lighting, relying instead on slivers of natural light that align with the building's geometry. It's both an act of design and discipline, embodying his lifelong pursuit of creating art through every dimension. These homes are also reportedly filled with experimental furniture, designed by Kanye himself through his Yeezy studio team. Sharp angles, matte finishes, no branding. Each piece is a sculpture, meant to blend seamlessly with the architecture. He once described his design style as post-human, hinting at a world beyond ego and materialism. In a time when celebrities flaunt wealth on social media, Kanye has gone the other way, building walls taller, thicker, and more philosophical. In 2025, architecture isn't just how Ye lives, it's what he becomes. Kanye West's public embrace of Christianity in the late 2010s was only the beginning. By 2025, faith has become the cornerstone of his identity, more central than music, fashion, or fame. But this isn't a celebrity rebirth crafted for headlines. It's quiet, intentional, almost monastic. Kanye no longer performs in sold-out arenas. Instead, he holds private sermons in candlelit concrete spaces where only the spiritually invited are welcome. These intimate gatherings are unlike anything you'd expect from a global icon. No cameras, no merchandise, and definitely no selfies. Just gospel choirs, meditative silence, and Kanye pacing barefoot across stone floors, reading scripture aloud. Sources say these sessions last hours and are less about preaching and more about presence, a deep, immersive experience designed to disconnect from the world and reconnect with God. But make no mistake, this is still Kanye. His version of worship is as avant-garde as his fashion line. Some sermons begin with Gregorian chants remixed into trap beats. Others take place in geometric domes with perfectly tuned acoustics, designed to amplify every breath. In one known gathering, he spoke only once, after an hour of silence, and said, "This is what heaven sounds like." He no longer identifies as just a rapper or even a performer. In private circles, Kanye refers to himself as a messenger. His mission? To strip life down to its sacred core. He believes mainstream fame is a spiritual disease, and he's treating it with architectural humility, scripture, and isolation. This mindset informs everything, from his food choices to the way he speaks, which is now slower, more deliberate, often quoting the Bible. Even his music reflects this spiritual evolution. Gone are the rage-fueled lyrics of Yeezus or the confessions of 808s. His new work, still unreleased to the public, is described as minimalist gospel layered with ambient field recordings. Think less Jesus walks and more Jesus waits, a soundtrack for solitude. In a world where everyone wants to be louder, Kanye's silence is deafening. And in that silence, he claims, is where he finally hears God clearly. While most billionaires flaunt their wealth with social media posts and paparazzi sightings, Kanye West's 2025 version of wealth operates in an entirely different dimension, one where luxury is not shown, but felt. His assets aren't flashy cars or golden chains. They're land, silence, and intentional design. In fact, Kanye has gone to great lengths to remove himself from the typical trappings of celebrity affluence. The foundation of this isolated wealth is his property portfolio, vast secluded tracts of land in Wyoming, Montana, and Uganda. These aren't just homes, they're spiritual compounds. Some are minimalist cubes of concrete and glass. Others are underground bunkers, designed with architects who specialize in survivalist philosophy. There are no addresses, no doorbells, just land, fences, and a silence that stretches for miles. Inside these compounds, Kanye lives without staff, without stylists, and sometimes without electricity. His goal? To eliminate distraction, to hear his own thoughts, to protect his children from the noise of the world. Each structure is built with sensory balance in mind, neutral tones, natural light, and intentional acoustics. No bright colors, no screens, no clutter. Just space for thought, prayer, and creation. And yet, make no mistake, this is extreme wealth. Kanye has invested millions in architects, spiritual advisors, sound engineers, and Japanese rock gardeners to shape his spaces into sanctuaries. His meditation dome in Wyoming reportedly cost more than $5 million to construct and includes an underground water echo chamber designed for silence therapy. One of his most talked about assets is an off-grid island compound near Haiti. Completely solar-powered, reachable only by helicopter, and monitored by former military contractors, it's said to be where Kanye writes, prays, and records in solitude. Rumors suggest he's building a self-sustaining creative utopia, where artists can live and work without the burden of fame or the poison of public validation. This is not just about luxury, it's about control. Kanye controls his space, his silence, and even time itself. He reportedly lives without clocks, relying on sunlight and internal rhythm to dictate his days. It's wealth transformed into philosophical armor, a way to own not just the world, but one's place within it. Kanye West isn't just designing homes, he's constructing legacy. In 2025, his obsession with architecture has reached a spiritual and historical magnitude. For Kanye, buildings are not shelter, they are scripture. Every angle, shadow, and structure is a verse in the gospel of his mind. He's not interested in trends or resale value. He builds as if his structures will be studied by future civilizations, because in his mind, they will be. One of his most ambitious projects is the YZY Shelter Initiative, a radical housing experiment that blends brutalist minimalism with spiritual geometry. Originally conceived as affordable housing for the homeless, the project has evolved into a multi-country architectural movement. In 2025, it now includes prototype domes in California, sand-buried modular homes in Morocco, and monolithic prayer pods in Texas, each one designed by Kanye alongside world-renowned architects and spiritual advisors. He's said to be deeply inspired by monastic architecture, ancient temples, Zen monasteries, and Ethiopian stone churches, but he fuses these with futuristic concepts: AI-integrated insulation, energy-generating walls, and sound systems built into the very material of the home. In his latest design near Big Sur, California, each building emits a low-frequency ambient hum, meant to align the human brain with theta waves during sleep or meditation. But why such obsession with building? For Kanye, it's about immortality. He believes music fades, fame dies, but structures endure. He said in interviews that he wants his buildings to be prayed in 500 years from now, and that he sees himself not just as a musician or mogul, but as an architectural prophet, someone whose vision will shape not just taste, but how humans relate to space and God. Some critics call it narcissism, others call it genius, but the results are undeniable. Kanye's architectural projects are now studied in elite design schools from Harvard to Kyoto. His partnership with minimalist Japanese architect Tadao Ando in 2025 sparked global discussion after they unveiled the YZY monoliths, 5 giant concrete structures designed to stand for 10,000 years, buried partially in volcanic ash as an homage to eternal silence. Ultimately, Kanye isn't just building homes, he's building temples. Structures meant to survive floods, fires, and cultural collapse. Whether it's a recording studio or a meditation hall, every brick he lays is part of something larger: a statement, a scripture, a signature etched in stone. In 2025, Kanye West isn't chasing the charts, he's chasing clarity. While the world still whispers about his controversial past, Kanye has entered a phase of radical silence. No constant tweets, no red carpet chaos, just isolated routines, quiet contemplation, and a daily life structured more like a monk's than a mogul's. He's turned his back on most of Hollywood's distractions and instead embraced a rhythm that values depth over noise. Much of this transformation began after his spiritual reawakening years ago, but in 2025, it's matured into a full-fledged lifestyle. Each day starts with prayer and ends with scripture or philosophical reading. Sources close to him describe entire days of intentional silence. He's replaced private jets with slow travel, parties with ritual, and designers with simplicity. Even his wardrobe, once the talk of fashion circles, is now monochrome, handmade, and often inspired by desert nomads. But don't mistake stillness for weakness. Kanye's quiet life is deeply strategic. He believes peace breeds power. With fewer distractions, he's producing more than ever: music, architecture, tech, and spiritual texts. His team calls it the rhythm, a daily cycle of creation and reflection. Every meal, breath, and design is intentional. He reportedly fasts weekly, journals obsessively, and holds meetings inside soundproof domes to keep the outside world out, literally and mentally. Central to Kanye's new philosophy is survival, not just personal but spiritual and cultural. He sees civilization as fragile. Silence, he reportedly told a friend, is the only thing that can outlive noise. He's preparing not just for the next album drop, but for the next global paradigm shift. That's why his homes are off-grid, his food is grown on site, and his staff are trained in multiple disciplines, from farming to first aid to scripture. It's not prepper paranoia. It's Kanye's vision of sustainable power. His 2025 life is a living manifesto, stripped down, deeply rooted, and uncompromising. He's no longer trying to prove himself to the world. He's building a world where he doesn't have to. Whether you see it as genius or eccentricity, one thing is clear: Kanye West isn't following trends. He's following faith, intuition, and something far beyond the fame that once defined him.